ممکنه بچه‌ها پیام بدن نوتیفیکیشن چیزی اومد رد کنم دیگه.
Hello my friends, how are you? I hope you're all fine and doing well, and you are ready for tonight's discussion. As I told you before, we are going to have a live program about different techniques for learning English. Tonight we are going to learn how to speak English or how to learn English more effectively. Of course, you know that there are some rules, there are some techniques that you must know if you want to become more fluent and if you want to become more professional in learning English. So that's why today, of course tonight, we tried to have a new, of course, program on ways to learn English better. So my guest tonight is Mr. Mehdad Lutfian, who is an English teacher and who is also a university professor. He also is a CELTA holder from Cambridge University. And of course, he has taught English in different countries, such as China, such as Russia, and some other European countries. And he knows how to, of course, learn English much better. So I hope that tonight all of you enjoy our discussion and try to learn new ways to learn English much more effectively. Now we are waiting for Mr. Mehdad Lutfian to join us tonight and start our live program on how to learn English more effectively and learn different techniques for learning English. So we are waiting for him to join us. Of course, before we start our discussion tonight, you know that our programs every night is saved in our account here and also in our YouTube channel. So you can see our programs here on Instagram, and you can also find it in our YouTube channel, all the programs that we already had, especially the problem or the program that we are going to have tonight. So again, as I told you, we are waiting for Mr. Mehdad Lutfian, the English professor, who is a CELTA holder from Cambridge University, to join us and start our discussion about different techniques for learning English. I think he will join us in a minute or so. I think Mr. Lutfian is going to join us very soon. He of course, he is in our live program. And hello, Mr. Lutfian, how are you? Good night.
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yes, very good. Thank you very much. Of course, it's my pleasure to have you as my guest tonight. And as you know, tonight we are going to talk about different techniques on how to learn English better, how to speak English better, and how to improve our learning skills in English. So we can start our discussion. So first you can say hello to our followers, and then you can start your program. Go ahead, please.
of course. Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you.
I
Thank
hope
you.
the discussion tonight will be of some help to you and everyone present here. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, how do you want to start, Mr. Lutfian?
Sorry?
How do you want to start our discussion tonight? Do you have any plan for tonight's program?
Well, my plan is to start talking about some misconceptions or wrong beliefs that many language learners, English learners actually, have about learning English.
What do you mean by the word misconception? What does it mean, misconception or wrong beliefs?
Well, that's what people may think wrongly about the way that they're learning English. Let me give you a couple of examples.
Very good.
For example, I'm sure that many of the followers of this page, .vare, are adults. That means they are around 30 or 40, 45, 50. And they may wrongly believe that they're too old to learn English. Okay? This is a wrong belief. So why not? Everyone can learn English, no matter what the age they are. There is a good point about adults. They have world knowledge. So they have a lot of information about what is going on around. They read, on the internet, newspapers, books. So they have a lot of knowledge of the world.
Okay, as I understood, sorry to interrupt you, as I understood from your words, first, you are going to tell us why some people think that they can't learn English very well. What are the barriers or what are the impediments? Actually, impediment or barrier یعنی موانع یادگیری زبان چیه؟ Misbelief همون اعتقادهای غلط هستش که بهش میگیم. There are some misbeliefs, as the professor said, that of course stops learning English better. Now, first you are going to know those misbeliefs that, for example, doesn't help you to learn English. Okay, so you can continue.
Yes, like I said, one such wrong belief is adults can't learn English or adults are not good at learning English. This is completely wrong because everyone at any age can learn English if they choose the right way, if they are on the right path. They can learn very well.
Okay, so of course we know that it is said very much that children can learn sooner, faster, better, and that's why some adults think that we cannot learn English. Is it true? Is it a correct way of thinking to say this, that children are better or much better in learning English in comparison with adults? Is it a good way of thinking or not?
No, I disagree with that because maybe children are quick learners, but it doesn't mean that adults are not good learners. Like I said, everyone can learn, no matter what age they are. Okay? So what is important here is to choose the right way to learn the language.
Okay, and tonight, of course, you are going to let us know the right way for learning English. Of course, later on tonight, you will let us know, I think, yeah? The way to learn English better.
Yes, yes.
Okay, very good.
Another wrong belief that some learners have is that they say learning English is hard. Well, again, nothing is hard if you choose the right method. So I'm going to be a bit brief, and I'm not going to go into the details. So just very briefly, okay? So language learning is hard. Again, it is wrong. So you need to keep saying to yourself that language learning is easy, okay? Some people think that they need to have the gene to learn the language, okay?
Sorry to stop you here. Sorry to stop you because maybe there are some words that our followers do not understand. You use the word gene. خب من خدمت دوستان میگم استاد در مورد ژن دارن صحبت میکنن و میگن که بعضیا فکر میکنن که زبان آموزی نیاز به یک ژن خاصی داره. You need a kind of a special gene to learn English, but this is not true. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yes, and again, some people wrongly believe that there is a best method to learn languages. Again, this is wrong because there is no best method. I will tell you later that for different people, there could be different methods. For me, one method might work. For you, another method might work well. So this, again, is not correct. Well, I'm just look at my list here in order not to forget.
Very good.
Yes. Well, again, some people think that they always need a textbook, okay, to learn the language. Well, thanks to the internet, these days, you have a lot of resources you can use to learn English. Again, later, I will tell you what resources students or language learners can use in order to improve their English.
Okay, sorry, I have got a question here. I've got a question. You just talked about genes, and of course, you said that it's not important that you have the gene or not. Everybody can learn English, no matter you have the gene or not. But when you compare different people, you see that I'm talking about adults. I'm not talking about children. I'm talking about adults. But when you compare different people, you see that some people learn much faster and easier. Why? Does it depend on the gene or does it depend on other factors? Why do some people learn English much faster, much more fluently, and why? What's the reason behind this?
You know, because people are different. They have different learning styles. This is something I'm going to talk about a bit later, okay? People are different, their styles of learning are different, so they need to adopt different methods. That's why some people learn better, some people get disappointed after a very short period, or some people just keep learning for a longer time.
So it's important first, so as I understood from your words, first it's better to know ourselves much better, of course, to know what way works best, for example, for me. That way, I can learn the language easier. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Very good.
Back to our list of misconceptions. Like I said, again, just going through a textbook is not that important. Well, some people think that they need to spend at least 1 hour a day, I don't know, 2 hours a day in order to learn English. Well, again, this could not be true because, well, 10 minutes a day, if done effectively, could be of great help to you. So you just need to be consistent, okay? Like if you spend 10 minutes a day learning vocabulary, I don't know, learning English, then this is going to be very helpful. Well, imagine if you spend 1 hour a day and then you just forget doing this for a couple of days. So there's no use in that. You need to be just consistent. You know, every day 10 minutes. This is going to be
okay. Maybe of course they don't know the meaning of the word consistent. Can you let us know? Can you define the word consistent, please, for us?
Yeah,
what
sure.
What do you mean by the word consistent?
Yeah, do you want me to say that in Farsi?
Yes. Okay, yes, if you can say that, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, by the word consistent, I mean you need to do something regularly. Okay, like you do it every day.
Oh, yeah.
Then it is consistent.
Oh, yes. You have a program for it. For example, you do it on a regular basis. Now, for example, today you spend 10 minutes, but tomorrow you say, okay, I don't feel well, so I can't, for example, today spend 10 minutes for learning English. You mean that you must persevere, you must try every day. If you spend 10 minutes, every day spend 10 minutes learning English. If you spend, for example, 15 minutes, or if you spend 20 minutes or half an hour, do it on a regular basis. Okay. Not one day you do it, the other day you say, no, today I'm not feeling very well, I am tired, I am sick. As I understood from your own words, we must be very, of course, consistent, as the word you said. It's a nice word to say, consistent. As American people or as English people say, practice makes perfect. Am I right?
Sure. Yes.
Yes, practice, practice, practice. I think learning a new language is a matter of practice. The more you practice, the more you learn.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true.
Okay.
Okay, again, some people think that they need a teacher to learn English. Well, what I'm going to say is it is not always necessary to have a teacher. Well, having a teacher could be of great help, could enhance the process of language learning, but it is not a must. You know, having an English teacher is not a must. Again, there are a lot of stuff, there's a lot of stuff that you can use, you can find on the internet. So there are a lot of like videos on YouTube, for example, that learners use. So it's not true that you always need a teacher.
Okay, so imagine there is no need to have a teacher. You said that, for example, some people said there is no teacher, that's why I can't learn English. But the question is here, imagine there is no teacher to help me learn English very well. How should I understand that I am making a mistake? There is no one to correct me. There is no one for me to talk to. I mean, as far as speaking is concerned, I need someone to talk to. So if there is no teacher, so I can't practice. If there is no one to help me, I can't speak it very well. Am I right?
Yes, of course. You always need feedback. You always need corrective feedback. But what I mean is that having a teacher is not a must. Yeah, you always need a model to follow. And the best model to follow is a good language or English teacher. But no, it's not easy for many of us to just have a language teacher. Well, consider the expenses and all this stuff. So, I don't know. For example, movies could be a very good resource to be used as a good model of language.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and let me put it this way, Mr. Lutfian. Let me put it, imagine that you are going to start at the very, very beginning. Your English is not good enough, and you want to just start learning a new language, here, English. Again, is it possible to learn it as far as, of course, you have taught English around the globe, you have been in different countries, and you have got a lot of experience working with different students around the world. So, is it possible at the very, very, very beginning, you start learning a new language, but there is no teacher?
Yes, like I said, having a teacher is a plus, but when there is no teacher, again, for example, if you're using a textbook, for example, nowadays all textbooks come in a packet. So that means there are audios you can use. So the audios could be your teacher.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
So you can, for example, you can just listen to the audio. That audio could be your teacher. Okay, you listen to the audio. You just read something from the book, and then you just record your own voice, for example, and then you compare it with that audio. So this way you can find what problems you have, what mispronunciations you have.
Okay, very good. That's a nice way to learn English. Yes, very good.
Let me just check. One, a very just big barrier to language learning is the fear of speaking. Many language learners are afraid of making mistakes. Why? They say, well, if I make a mistake, then everyone is going to start laughing at me. They're going to make fun of me. Okay? But the first thing, in my idea, or the first important thing for any language learner is to be self-confident and is not to be shy.
Okay, what do you mean by the word self-confident? What does this word mean, self-confident?
Yeah, it means you need to trust your own abilities, your own skills.
اعتماد به نفس, you mean. Self-confident means اعتماد به نفس. Yeah, very good.
Yes. If you have that, then you're going to do it very well. So don't be afraid of others around you, okay? Nothing is going to happen if people start laughing at you.
Okay, what should we do, Mr. Lutfian? What should we do to overcome this fear? To overcome, yani فائق آمدن شکست دادن. What should we do in order to solve this problem? Because as a teacher, as an English teacher, I have seen this so many times that many students, as you said just now, they are afraid of speaking. They just close their mouth. They never ever try to open their mouth to produce words. As you said, they are fearful of making mistakes. So what should we do? Is there any way? Is there any way to overcome this problem or not? What should we do?
Well, I can say there is a way. Well, in my idea, the only way is to just dive into it.
Oh,
Like when you want to learn swimming, for example, okay? You just need to, you need someone to push you into the water. And then when you start swimming with the help of, I don't know, a swimmer, then you can learn it.
Of
so
course,
you just need to be brave, okay?
Yeah,
You need to be brave. Don't be afraid of just what is going to happen. Don't be scared of the consequences.
Consequence and نتیجه. Of course, as a teacher, I always tell my students, for example, to be cheeky in the class. Cheeky, بچه‌ها معنی پررو. Not in a bad manner, not in a bad way. No, you should just try to speak English, no matter if you make a mistake. Making a mistake is a part of a language learning process. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Now, if you don't make a mistake, of course, you don't learn the language. So try to be cheeky, as I said, for you, and try to speak. Try to speak on and on. I myself personally, for example, many years ago, when I wanted to learn English, I spoke to myself very much. While I was walking on the road, for example, I tried to speak English with myself, and all the people said, okay, you are, for example, this guy is crazy or something like this. But it's no matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You can speak to the mirror, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Stand in front of the mirror, and talk to yourself. It works very much. Of course, dear followers, try to use this, of course, every day. Every day, stand in front of the mirror for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, and choose a topic. And then talk to yourself for 5 minutes. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Another important point, Mr. Tari, to consider is not to say negative things to yourself when you are learning English. Never say, I'm not good at learning English. I will never be able to learn English. Why not? Never say that to yourself. This, again, is going to be a kind of barrier which will stop your learning English.
You mean try to be positive?
Yeah, absolutely. Be positive.
مثبت فکر بکنیم برای یادگیری زبان. نگیم نمیتونم.
Okay. Well, actually, there are more wrong beliefs, like making mistakes is bad, which we already talked about. You don't speak a language until your accent is good. Well, it is not always. No, in many cases, fluency is more important. Fluency means how fast you can speak, okay? So if you can speak fluently, that's okay, no matter what accent you have adopted, You don't need to sound 100% American or 100% British. Just speak.
Just try to make yourself understood. That's the way it is. Yes, just try to make yourself. حتی هدف زبان اینه که بخواید خودتون رو بفهمونید به طرف مقابلتون. If you make a mistake, that's no problem. If you are an adult, that's no problem. Just try to produce the language. فقط سعی کنید که صحبت بکنید. If you speak, that's it. If you make a mistake, no problem. No, everybody makes a mistake. Everybody makes a mistake. Okay?
Okay. So the next issue that I would like to talk about is how different people are in learning languages, okay? I can say that there are three, the way of learning English, for example, could be different from my style of learning. So we have three main styles of language learning, okay? And this is what I'm going to tell you. the first, some language.
Mr. Aloud, please let me stop you here because this part of the program is very, very important. And I want to speak for just some words to let them know what we are talking about now. خب ما الان در خصوص استایل های مختلف آدما که میخوان زبان رو یاد بگیرن صحبت بکنیم. خب همونطور که استاد فرمودن 3 مدل یا 3 تا استایل داریم برای یادگیری زبان که شما باید خودتون متوجه بشید که کدوم استایل مناسب تیپ ذهنی و شخصیتی شماست. یعنی این یه مسئله کاملا شخصی هستش و خودتون باید اون رو به قول معروف متوجه بشید. خب الان استاد توضیح میدم برامون که ببینیم منظور از این 3 تا استایل چی هستش. یعنی آدما تقریبا به این 3 دسته تقسیم میشن برای یادگیری زبان. Go ahead please.
Okay. Well, we have some auditory learners.
Auditory.
Yes, it means they can learn better by hearing. Okay, this is the first style. Some other people learn better by looking at things. So we call them visual learners. So the first style of learning is auditory, the second one is visual, and the third style of learning is kinesthetic. That means, that means they learn better when they get involved in some sort of action.
Very good, very good.
So for each of these styles, there are some activities, or let's say strategies, that can help learners improve their English, or learn English, or learn any other languages.
Auditory. Okay. So there are, as you said, let me of course elaborate on it more. As you said, we have 3, of course, styles for learning English. Some people learn English or learn a new language better by just listening. For example, I myself, if I listen to something, I can learn. For example, as a student, when I went to classes, I didn't need to write something. When I, for example, take part in a class, when I listen to my teacher, I can learn everything very, very well. I don't need to write something. As you said, some people learn better, of course, when they look. Yes, some people learn better by looking at things, as you said. I don't know. Of course, how should we understand, for example, if you are a visual person or not? Of course, this is the matter of yourself. You yourself should decide what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
You learn better.
Yeah, everybody knows themselves better. Okay? You know what style you are.
Yeah, you should be the doctor of yourself. You should be the doctor of yourself, yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
So, as I said, and as you said, some people learn better by listening, some people learn much better by speaking or looking, and some people need some kind of action to learn better. So we have these 3 styles. Okay, go ahead, please.
So for auditory learners, like I said, listening and speaking are important. I mean, they can learn better when they hear things, when they listen to stuff, and then when they try to reproduce what they have heard. I mean, listening and speaking. So what can these learners do? How can they learn better? Well, one thing they could do is to listen to English podcasts.
Oh, very good.
There are millions of podcasts available on the internet that language learners can use for free. They don't have to pay money, okay? It's just free for everyone to listen. So, podcasts. Or another thing they could do is just to listen to audiobooks in English, of course. Audiobooks. So the first one, podcasts. The second one, audiobooks. Another thing they could do is just to record. For example, if they go to an English class, they can record the teacher and then later listen to the teacher several times. They can watch movies, okay? Though they're auditory, but while watching and listening to what the actors say in the movie could be of great help to them.
Okay. Do you have any, of course, podcast for us tonight? Because since many of our followers are I can say jurists, they are, I don't know, lawyers, or they are counselors. Do we have any special podcasts for them to learn English? Of course, legal English, because they are going to learn legal English, and it is important for them. Do we have any podcast related to legal English or not on the net?
Of course, of course. Well, actually, podcasts are available for all language learners, you know, those who are trying to improve their general English. They just need to Google English podcasts, and then they're going to find lots of, let's say, thousands, millions of podcasts available. But for legal learners of English, yes, I can say this, studylegalenglish.com.
Oh, it's a site, website on the net, yeah?
Full of podcasts for legal learners of English.
Okay, can you repeat it again, please? Can you repeat the website again?
Yeah, studylegalenglish.com.
Okay, I'll repeat again. Study, dear followers, of course, if you want to see or listen to some podcasts on the net, there is a website on the net, and that is, repeat please again, studylegalenglish.com. Yes, studylegalenglish.com. Very good.
There's also another website, brightflag.com. brightflag.com.
Oh, Bright Flag.
Yes.
brightflag.com. Bright Flag. Okay, what can they find, of course, in that site? What can they find?
They can find a lot of podcasts.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good.
Is like a conversation that happens in the real world. Okay, two people are talking to each other about legal issues, for example. Sorry.
Yes, because our followers want to improve their legal English, so they need some podcasts related to legal English. And these two sites that you just introduced, I think, can help us learn much better, much better.
Yes. So I'm going to repeat one more time. studylegal English. So studylegalenglish.com, and the other one, brightflag, brightflag.com.
Very good, very good. So these podcasts are, of course, are good for those who can learn by listening, you said, yeah? Podcasts are good for those who are, yes.
Especially for auditory learners.
Auditory learners, very good.
You know, it's a good strategy to have these audios with you wherever you go. You can have them on your smartphone, for example. You can have them, I don't know, on flash memory in your car, so you can just keep listening to them wherever you go. This constant exposure to English could be of great help. You might need to explain exposure to your followers right now.
Yeah, it is as if that, for example, you were living in America or in an English-speaking countries when you are listening to this kind of stuff, yeah?
Yes. Another thing that auditory learners could do is to repeat aloud. You know, this is very important because many people, I have seen many students who repeat but silently. You need to repeat aloud. You need to hear yourself. You need to hear your own voice. This is very important, okay? So if you have recorded something and want to just repeat, listen and repeat, try to repeat aloud.
So,
okay,
this one is very important, Mr. Lutfan, I think. This one is very, very important, and our followers should keep in mind that you need to talk aloud. You need to hear your words. When you talk, try to hear. Do not say something silently. بچه‌ها چیزی رو به آرومی نگید. بلند بگید که خودتون بشنوید. Try to hear what you say. How? You need to speak, for example, loudly. It helps you learn much better.
Of course, reading silently in the mind can also help, but it is not as effective as repeating aloud.
Very good.
Listen to music.
Oh,
okay. A lot of sense. Listen to music and read along the lyrics. While you're listening, just read the lyrics and then try to sing along. While you're listening, Okay, listen, look at the lyrics, and sing with the song. This could be a good help again.
Yeah, of course, I have seen so many learners. I have seen so many, of course, English learners that they just improve their English by just listening to songs.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, one day I ran into a guy who learned Korean language. Korean, you know, is a very, very hard language, you know. Of course, he told me that he just listened to Korean music and then he could speak it. Of course, he was, I think he was fluent in Korean language. So, yes, it's important. It's very, very important. Hmm?
You know, there is something that I forgot to tell you about watching movies. Well, this is a question that many students keep asking me. Well, if we watch a movie and we don't understand anything, what should we do? Should we watch the movie with Persian subtitles? Does it help? Well, I think the best technique or a strategy is to watch movies with English subtitles.
But they just move very fast, Mr. Lutfi. You know, you are listening, you are watching, and then you are, for example, seeing the words. But they go very fast, and you cannot see them very well. Yeah.
Okay, you can stop. Okay.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, yeah, stop. Watch it again and again. Mm-hmm. Okay, and read subtitles.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You know, something which is very good for auditory learners and also all types of learners is to talk to other people in English, especially if they can find native speakers.
Of course, in Iran, it's very hard to find a native speaker, you know.
Yeah,
not many tourists come to our country.
This is not easy, but not impossible. Not here, but on Facebook, for example.
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of websites that can help you find a language partner. Having a language partner, again, could be of great help.
Yes, very well.
You know, you need to talk. Well, you get a lot of input by watching movies, by listening to music, by, I don't know, attending a class, but you need to just produce language. Okay?
Yeah.
This production is very important.
Of course, one way that I can recommend, sorry to interrupt you again, one way that I can recommend, if there is no partner for you to learn English, you can speak to your family members at home. Even if they don't speak English, but you speak English to them. They answer you in Persian, but you speak English with your father. Speak English with your mother. For example, you say, what do we have for dinner, Mom? That's the way you can say. Instead of saying shidarim, you can say, what do we have for dinner? So it's very good. It's very good, I think.
That could be a technique. So I'm going to summarize what I said about auditory learners in Persian. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because I know there are some people here that might not be that good at listening, at least.
Yes,
okay?
yeah. You're right.
من در مورد زبان آموزانی صحبت کردم که استایل یادگیریشون از طریق گوش هست، یعنی یادگیرنده های گوشی بهشون. حالا من الان چیزی که به ذهنم میرسه در فارسی میتونم بگم که به صورت گوشی بهتر یاد میگیرن. یعنی وقتی یک چیزی رو میشنون خیلی راحت تر تو ذهنشون قرار میگیره تا وقتی که یک چیزی رو میبینن. بعضیا با خوندن که حالا درباره‌اش صحبت میکنم، با خوندن یاد میگیرن، بعضیا با شنیدن. خب حالا راههای این که ما میتونیم روی این استایل خودمون کار کنیم، مثلا من استایلم شنیداریه و من از طریق گوش بهتر یاد میگیرم، میتونم موسیقی گوش کنم، مثلا آهنگایی که متن انگلیسی دارن گوش کنم، همزمان با اینکه دارم گوش میدم آهنگ شعر متن رو هم بخونم، یعنی نگاه کنم، گوش کنم و مثلا دفعه اول فقط گوش کنم و نگاه کنم، دفعه دوم گوش کنم و بخونم باهاش. این خیلی کمک میکنه. یا اینکه فیلم ببینم، سریال ببینم یا زبان انگلیسی ولی با زیرنویس انگلیسی.
نه با زیرنویس فارسی. همونجور که گفتید زیرنویس فارسی خیلی به کار ما نمیاد. بحث اینه که فیلم بچه انگلیسی باید ببینید با زیرنویس انگلیسی، نه فیلم انگلیسی و با زیرنویس فارسی. That doesn't work. That doesn't work really.
بله. ببینید اصلا لازم نیست که ما یه فیلم رو کامل ببینیم یا یک سریال رو از اول تا آخر ببینیم با زیرنویس. میتونیم به دید آموزشی بهش نگاه کنیم. به دید آموزشی یعنی چی؟ یعنی شما مثلا یک فیلم رو از اول تا آخر ببینید به انگلیسی. اصلا به صورت تفریحی. یه ساعت تایم بذارید بشین این فیلم رو از اول تا آخر ببینید. اما بگید من میخوام در طول 2 هفته این فیلم رو با دید آموزشی ببینم. روزی 5 دقیقه بشه. مثلا اون کانسیستنسی که اول بحثمون صحبتشو کردیم اینجا معنی میده. یعنی شما بگید من روزی 5 دقیقه این فیلم رو میخوام ببینم با زیرنویس انگلیسی، بیشترم نه، فقط 5 دقیقه. ولی هر چقدر که لازمه برگردید از اول دوباره مثلا روز زیرنویس رو بخونید، یه خورده درگیرش بشید دیگه. اگه مثلا لغتی معنیشو پیدا کنید، ببینید چه مفهومی داره، چه مثلا سینونیمی داره مثلا، یا اینکه مثلا تو فارسی چی بهش میگن، اشکالی نداره تو فارسی در یا اینکه صحبت کردن با دیگران خیلی مهمه. معمولا اونجوری که شما فرمودید خوب سخته، مثلا اینجا نمیتونیم نیتیو اسپیکر پیدا کنیم، ولی گفتم مثلا فیسبوک یک میدیم خوبیه برای اینکه بتونیم دوستانی پیدا کنیم که انگلیسی صحبت میکنن. مهم نیست کجایی، ممکنه مثلا هندی باشه، چینی باشه، مالزیایی باشه، مهم اینه که انگلیسی صحبت کنیم و این کامیونیکیشن انجام بشه. یا اینکه مثلا حتی کسایی که چند نفری که با هم دوستن، هم دیگه میشناسن یا همکارن، بگن مثلا روزی هفته 2 بار 3 بار بیایم با هم انگلیسی به مدت 10 دقیقه صحبت کنیم.
آره توی همین واتساپ میتونن ویدیو کنفرانس داشته باشن، ویدیو کال داشته باشن، با هم شروع کنن انگلیسی صحبت کردن. خیلی عالیه به نظر. الان
گروهای واتساپ، خب وقتی میبینید تو گروه واتساپ همه برای هم ویدیو میفرستن، نمیدونم جوک و اطلاعات، خب یه کانال هم، یه گروه هم بزنید برای اینکه مثلا اگه واقعا علاقه‌مند هستید به انگلیسی، مثلا بگید 10 دقیقه 5 دقیقه بیاید با هم دیگه انگلیسی صحبت کنید. درست غلطش مهم نیست، فقط صحبت کنید. و مطمئناً وقتی این اینتراکشن بین افراد مختلف، این تعامل بین 3 نفر، 4 نفر، 5 نفر صحبت انجام میگیره، اون پیر فیدبک هم توش اتفاق میفته. یعنی افراد گروه همدیگه رو اصلاح میکنن. اگر هدف یادگیری باشه، تو اون 10 دقیقه، تو اون 5 دقیقه کورکتیو فیدبک به هم دیگه میدن.
خب این فکر می‌کنم برای بچه‌ای بودش که حالا آدیتوری هستن و به لحاظ شنوایی میخوان یاد بگیرن. Let's move on to the next step for those who are visual learners, those of course who need to look at something to learn better.
Yes.
Okay.
For visual learners, my recommendation is to read stuff in English, read books in English, okay? Read blogs in English. Even read the transcript of movies in English. Okay, but when I say read something, I mean actively read something. What does that mean? It means, well, you just need to read something and highlight important words or information in the text that you are reading. What does that mean? What do I mean by important information? It could be like new words, okay? Or it could be an expression, an idiom, or a grammatical structure that I might not know or might be new to me. So I just need to, for example, underline it, or I don't know, write something there just to get actively involved.
Okay, I got what you said, but something that just crossed my mind. Some students say, for those who are visual learners, they say, every day I try to, for example, memorize a lot of words. For example, a large number of words, 10 words, 25, 30. Is it a good way? Do you think it's a good way to memorize words every day? Does it help us to learn English? Does it help us to speak very well or not?
Well, of course, adding new words to your vocabulary knowledge is going to be helpful. But you need to have a method for that. You need to have a strategy for that. For example, well, you can have a notebook in which you just write the words. But you know, a random list of words is not going to be helpful. So you need to have groups of words. For example, well, say I'm going to write all the words related to, I don't know, cinema here, okay? All the related words. So you can make a word web, and you put all the related words there. item of clothing, for example, okay, all the words about clothing, you can put them in a separate page. This way you can group the words, and then learning the words is going to be more effective.
Okay, you mean that you categorize, they try to categorize the vocabulary. For example, one column for clothes, as you said, one column for health, one column for cinema, and then they memorize the words, and then just memorizing is important. Imagine that today, let me put it this way. Imagine today I learned 10 words. I learned 15 words. Is just memorizing the words helpful or no? I need to make sentences using those words.
Yes. Well, if you memorize thousands of words but never use them, it's useless. So you're going to have to use the words either in speech or in writing. Okay, that way the words going to be helpful to you. Right? So always, I always recommend this. Just you can, for example, when you find a new word, for example, just write it down somewhere. Copy a sentence from a good dictionary, from a reliable dictionary. There are a lot of online dictionaries, like I know Oxford Learners Dictionary, Webster Learners Dictionary, and a lot of such dictionaries. Copy a sentence. That is going to be a standard sentence. Okay, you just copy that, and then you add your own sentences.
Okay, I got it. Let me put it this way. Does the same rule apply to legal English vocabulary? Okay, because some students, some university students says that's really hard for us to memorize legal English vocabulary. بچه در مورد زبان تخصصی لغاتش داریم صحبت میکنیم. What rule or what method do you recommend for learners to memorize legal English words? Is there any, what is the best way, I mean? What do you recommend to them?
Well, I can't say that there is a best way, like I said at the very beginning, okay? The method let's say the technique that I just mentioned could also be used by legal learners of English. But don't forget, you always need to learn words in context. So if you are legal learners of English, try to read legal texts and learn the words in context. This is very important.
But simply memorizing the words doesn't work, you mean, yes? You need to learn the words in a context. That's خیلی نکته مهمی که استاد فرمودن. الان اینو فارسی بگم. لغات رو به صورت لغات تخصصی مخصوصا چون به حال نسبتا سخت هم هستن، به نظر میرسه که میخواید حفظش بکنید فایده‌ای نداره. نیاز به این دارید که در واقع اونها رو توی متن بخواید یاد بگیرید. یه متن حقوقی کنار دستتون بذارید یا یک مقاله رو توی اینترنت، یه اسای توی اینترنت پیدا بکنید و بر مبنای اون بیاید چیکار بکنید؟ لغاتی که اونجا هست رو هایلایتش بکنید، highlight the words and try to memorize the words. Try to make sentences using those words. Okay?
Yes. You know, I can talk about a good technique for visual learners who read a lot. Okay? For example, when they want to read a text, the first thing is to know that they don't need to understand everything at the very beginning. Okay? So when they want to start reading a text, they can just skim the text. What do you
mean by the word skim? Yeah.
It means to read it very quickly in depending on the length of the text, of course, they can read it like in 2 or 3 minutes, just to know what it is about.
Oh, very good.
You get a general idea of the text first, okay? Then they can go into the details and try to understand more details. And this is called scanning. The first one is skimming. The second one is scanning.
Oh, yeah, very good. Of course, these are used for IELTS holders too. Those who want to take part, for example, in IELTS exam or TOEFL exams, they need how to skim, they need to know how to scan the text, and it really helps them.
And what do we scan for? That's why do we call it a scanning? Because you just try to look up certain pieces of information, not everything. For example, if you are reading this legal text and you are trying to find just a specific law, Okay?
Yeah.
You just need to look for that specific piece of law, not everything in the text. This is what a scanning is.
Okay, very good.
You don't need to waste your time just reading line by line, everything in the passage.
Yeah.
So the first is just to read it very quickly, to skim the general idea, and then based on what you have in mind, based on what you need from the text, you can scan to find the piece of information that you need.
Okay, very good. It was a nice technique. And the third people who need some action, of course, to learn English, what do we have for us, for those people? What can we say for them?
Okay. You mean kinesthetic learners?
Yes, kinesthetic learners.
Yeah, like I said, what is important for them is to get involved in some sort of action. For example, a very good thing for them is to learn English through playing games, video games, for example. Nowadays, there are a lot of games that, video games, for example, computer games that they can even do online. And when they do online, you can find a lot of people around the world with whom you can communicate.
Very good.
So you get involved in doing the game, and in the meantime, you learn English.
Very good.
This is very good. Another thing that they could do is to use flashcards to learn new vocabulary. You know what flashcard is? Just look at this. This is a very small piece of paper, okay? So when they just come up with, whenever they see a new piece of vocabulary, they just put it there, okay? And then on the back of the card, they write the meaning. It could be in English or it could be in Farsi. So after some say time, you're gonna have a deck of cards, flashcards, okay, like this.
Yeah.
This, okay. So, but what's the use of that? I mean, if you make, let's say, thousands of flashcards, but you don't know how to use flashcards, then it's not gonna help. So, the strategy is like this: after you have prepared your flashcards, try to read them or look at them at least once a day. For example, I have 20 flashcards, okay? I just, on the way to work, I don't know, on the bus, on the train, I can just look at the first card for 30 seconds, not more than that, 30 seconds. Look at the word. If I remember the meaning, I just put it there. If not, I look in the back of the card, look at the meaning, and then just put it aside, like this. This way, you can review many words in a very short period of time.
Yes, it's a nice way. But I prefer to be a kind of auditory learner rather than to be, of course, kinesthetic learner, because I think that way is much easier to learn. Because I myself, as I told you, when I listen to something, I can learn. What kind of person are you? Do you learn better by listening or by just looking?
I forgot to say that some people might be a mixture, a combination of all these styles. Okay. At times, I learn better by hearing stuff. At times, I learn better by just looking at. So I cannot say, but I know that I'm not a kinesthetic learner.
Oh yeah.
So I learn better when I hear.
Neither. Okay. What else do you have for tonight, Mr. Lucian, for our followers? What else do you have for tonight? Of course, you talked about misflips. Then you talked about these 3 styles of learning English. And what else do you have for our discussion tonight?
Well, I wanted to introduce some resources, which I partly did. I mean, the two websites. Okay,
can you repeat those resources again for them, because they might be writing it.
Yeah, the first one was studylegalenglish.com. And the other one was brightflag.
Brightflag.com. These are the 2 sites that you can find legal English podcasts, and they can listen to them every day, and they can improve their English by listening to them. Yeah.
And my final piece of advice, final piece of advice, is to watch movies, series, talk to each other, try to use what you've learned. Okay, speak. Try to record your own voice and listen to your own voice several times. This can be of great help.
Okay, I think.
Questions.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add, or that's it for tonight?
I think that's it for tonight.
Okay, maybe, for example, in other programs later on, we can talk about other techniques on learning English, and we will have more discussion about them. Okay, thank you very much for your coming and for your presentation. It was very nice, very helpful for me, and I'm sure that our followers enjoyed the things that you said very much. I hope to see you soon again. Okay, if you want to say something. Okay.
Thank you for having me. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. And I say goodbye to our followers on Dadware. As I told you before, you can find the saved program here on Dadware, and also you can find it as well in our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for having us. Take care of yourself and each other, and have a good night, everybody.
Good night.